Hey guys, what's going on? Sean Dowen here, and today I wanted to make a video on the realistic cost of Kindle publishing. So I've been getting a lot of questions from people that asking me, Sean, how much does Kindle publishing really cost? Right? A lot of people online, talks about how much it costs, and they say that it's a really cheap business to get started. But is there any hidden fees, or is there any extra costs that people don't talk about? And so today I wanted to make a in-depth video on exactly how much it costs to publish a book from start to end. And so let's get into the video. Okay, so how much does Kindle publishing really cost? So the first thing you want to get is you need to write a book, right? So you have two options. You can write the book yourself, and of course if you do that, the cost is zero. We only recommend this if you are confident in your writing skills. Maybe you studied writing, you do it as a profession, or maybe you want to learn how to, become a writer. And if that's the case, then yeah, definitely you can do that. But if you're not really interested in writing, if that's not your passion, then I would highly recommend to use a ghostwriter and outsource this, because a ghostwriter will do probably a lot better job than you trying to figure out how to write. And you can do other stuff while the ghostwriter is working on the book. And so you need to outsource tasks if you're building a business to really scale business fast, right? But of course, if you don't have money to hire ghostwriters, then the only option for you is to write it yourself, and it could be a really good experience for you. And if that's the case, the cost is zero. But if you're doing hiring a ghostwriter, there's two companies that you can go, and it's eWriter Solutions is the first one. This is I've been using them for a really long time. Their cost is cheaper than the other option basically, but sometimes their order, they close the shop, meaning like you cannot make orders for like a period of a couple days to a week, because they get too much orders. Sometimes the quality isn't good, it's inconsistent, so you have to proof your book every time. And those are some of the cons of using eWriter Solutions. But the cost is the pro. So the cost is $1.5 per 100 words, so that's a really good cost. And I do have a coupon code if you want to use them. I'll put it in the description too. But the higher quality option is the Urban Writers. So with the Urban Writers, the cost ranges from the packages you choose, but it goes from $1.99 to $2.89 per 100 words, right? But the quality, of course, because the price is a lot higher, the quality is way better than eWriter Solutions, and you will save a lot of time trying to fix your book and your manuscripts, and and the editing process. You'll save a lot of time with that. So how many words should you order? So usually you want to order about 15,000 words minimum. 15,000 is kind of my sweet spot, because if you do the right formatting, it usually comes out to around 100 pages or a little more than 100 pages if you have like a lot of bullet points in your books. And that's about the amount of pages that people tend to like. So you think you need to have like a 200-page book, but actually people would rather have a 100-page book that gets straight to the point, solves the problem for them, and over a 200-page book that literally repeats itself over and over and over the entire 200 pages, and everything else is covered in fluff. And a lot of book, like I'm reading this book right now called The Grit. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's pretty much, you can summarize the whole book in one sentence, like persistence is important, right? But they explain that over the period of 250 pages, and I much rather have a 100-page book that gets to the point, and a lot of people do that. So if your book is over 100 pages, you never really get people complaining and leaving bad reviews on the book being too short. So of course that's just my experience, but yeah. So with eWriter Solutions, if you order 15,000 words, it's $225. With Urban Writers, 15,000 words is the cheapest one is $298.50 to $433.50. So the urban writers are definitely more expensive, but like I said, way more professional and higher quality. So with e-writer solutions, right, although I say that they're lower quality, if you give them a good outline, like exactly tell them this is what you want, and of course you have to do some research on the keyword you're trying to publish in. E-writer solutions can be good too if you give them a good outline and specifically exactly tell them what you want, right? So the next thing you need to have is a book cover, and this is super easy. You just go to Fiverr.com. This is a website that has a bunch of services, and generally it starts from $5. So you don't have to make, you don't have to spend like $10s, $20, $50 for a book cover. $5 if you choose the right gig. They do a really good job. The next thing you need to do is to convert your book and your cover to paperback format, because now we have the files for the ebook and the cover for the Kindle version, but we want to publish the paperback version, of course, because we make more money that way. So again, Fiverr, you just go to Fiverr, choose a gig, and convert your book. And with 15,000, it's probably going to take you about $10 to $20. If you have images in the book, it's going to cost more, but generally I don't recommend images, so it's going to be just $10 to $20. For the cover, it's just $5 again. Now, of course, we want to publish our book in Audible, audiobook format as well. So the cover for audiobook is a little different than Kindle and paperback. It's a different size. So now, I usually just order a new gig on Fiverr and pay the extra $5 and get the audiobook cover done. If you negotiate with the Fiverr gig provider, maybe you can get a discount, maybe like $2, since they're just kind of stretching the cover that they made, right? But for the narration of the audiobook, so basically this is hiring a narrator and they're reading your book into a audiobook. So this is free if you do a royalty split, and the royalty split is basically if you agree with the narrator that, hey, we're going to split the profit 50-50. So every time you make a sale, you pay half of the royalty to them. And the pro of this is that you don't pay anything up front, and the con is that if your book sells, you're gonna lose, or you're gonna be missing out on a lot more than what you saved initially. So if you have the money, I highly recommend to never do royalty split and always pay for the per finished hour option. And generally the rate I pay is $40 to $50 per finished hour. So if your book is 15,000 word, that's about 1.5 hours, and you only pay for the completed hour part of the book. So 1.5 hour times 40, that's about $60. It is not bad at all, and you keep all your royalties. So the next is book marketing. So it depends on what type of marketing you do. This I can't give you the exact number, but for me generally it's around $50 to $80 per book, and you can additionally run AMS ads to it. But this one, again, it depends on how much you spend. But with AMS, you should be only spending if you're getting sales, if the ads are working, meaning you're making more than what you spend. So of course I can't give you the exact number for AMS, but as long as you're making more than what you put in, you should be spending, you should keep on spending. So yeah, that's how you should be doing. So the total cost, to round everything up, if you write the book on your own and do royalty split for audiobook, it'll be $5 for the cover, $10 for the book conversion, $5 for the cover conversion, $5 for the audiobook cover, and the marketing is like 80 bucks or so, and that's $105. If you outsource everything though, you gotta add $225 to $433 for ghostwriting, depending on if you use eWriter Solutions or Urban Writers, and $60 for audiobook narration. So the total is going to be $385 to $598. Of course, this is just the estimate cost from my experience, and it's not going to be the exact cost of what you are going to get. Of course, it depends on how long you order your book and stuff, but you can generally assume that it's going to be around here. So again, unless you're confident in your writing, I highly recommend you use a ghostwriter. And if you have the money, never ever do royalty split for ACX. So the question is, how soon would I make my money back, right? So with Kindle publishing, the great thing about this is if you do like real estate investing, right, for example, or stocks, you're expecting to make return on investment years after the investment. And a lot of times with real estate, if you make your money back in 10 years, that's like a good investment. If you do it in like a few years, that's great, right? With Kindle publishing, you don't have to wait that long. It's usually a few months or even a month if you do a really, really good job. So if you do everything wrong, the book will probably do like 20 bucks a month. So the great thing is, even if you do a terrible job, it's going to be on Amazon. There's so many people going to Amazon looking for books every single day. Some of those people will like your terrible cover. Some of those people will find your book and buy it, and you're gonna make a few sales here and there. And you don't really have to do anything, right? Those few sales over the course of months to maybe a year will add up, and hopefully you can make your money back. If you follow a course like the course I will recommend in the next slide and do an okay job, you'll probably make about $50 to $100 a month. This is where I started. My first books were making around this much, so I was making my money back in like 3 months or so, which is still very, very good. And if you follow a course and do a great job, as you get more experienced and you know what you're doing, you'll start making few hundred to thousands a month, right? So now my new books, combining Kindle, paperback, and audiobook, it makes me usually about $200-300 a month in the first month, and then I pretty much make my money back, or make most of my money back my first month. The second month I make my money back completely, and then it's passive income after that. My best book it made me $5,000 the first month, and then on the course of that lifespan of the book, right, in 1 year it made like 30 grand for me. So that's the power of Kindle publishing, and it's definitely possible for anybody. You just got to follow a course. You just got to kind of experience, gain some experience and get better at it. So yeah, so a few months to make ROI, and after that it's completely passive. All right, so the highly recommended other cost on top of what I just mentioned is, of course, getting a course. So I do recommend you follow a course. You will probably save money on the long run because you're not making costly mistakes. You're not losing time, and you're not losing money on making crappy books by trying to figure out everything on your own. So if you're brand new, you want to get my self-publishing blueprint. I'll put the link in the description. I think it's $397, but right now, check the date of the video when it's released. Maybe if you watch it, a few days later, a week later, it may not be happening, but you get 1 month free coaching with Emeka, the course creator, if you sign up right now. And if you're experienced with Kindle publishing already, additional course that I recommend is Audiobook Income Academy, and this is a course on how to really scale your business with audiobooks. And this is the strategy that I use to take my Kindle publishing business to make $10,000 in a month just from audiobooks. So, and the last one is KDP Rocket. So this is just $100 lifetime access to this software that basically gives you, like the biggest benefit of having KDP Rocket is the AMS keywords. So if you're running AMS Ads, you want to use KDP Rocket to get the keywords that you target. And KDP Rocket is pretty much the only way to get a bunch of keywords really, really fast. That saves you a lot of time. So if you're running AMS Ads, it's like one of the must-have software. So if you're interested in any of these courses or KDP Rocket, the link is in the description as well. So that was the video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the video. And if you have any other questions like this, let me know in the comments so I can make more videos for you. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.